Took so long, it took so long, it took so long for you to call back. We set up like a table in your mom's living room like we were news anchors, and I was gonna go off screen, and then you're supposed to hear sounds of chaos and destruction. I'm excited.
Me too.
I think that was good.
I think so too. I want to watch
I'm glad that we got real during our intro because I feel like we're gonna get real. Hi, I'm Kaer.
And I'm Brea.
And we have been best friends for almost 2 decades. And we want to welcome you to our brand new YouTube channel. On our YouTube channel, we are going to talk about how we've managed to stay friends for almost 20 years, as well as a range of other topics like books,
Reading,
writing,
what TV shows we like to watch,
TV shows, general best friend memories.
Yes, which is what today's video is mostly going to be about. Gaming. We might do some game streaming too, which would be cool.
Always wanted to try that. Also, some vlogging. We're very excited to get into some vlogging.
Today, we really wanted to just kind of sit down and talk about who we are and how we met and how we have stayed friends for, I think we're at 18 years this year.
We are at 18 years.
Yeah.
I want to say the county fair of 2024.
Yes.
Only. So we're at like 19 years.
We met in 2005. So this will be 18 years.
So county fair 2025.
Yes.
This actually, this is not the first time we've tried this. You remember? When we tried to do when we started doing a YouTube channel when we were,
When we were in 7th grade.
The very, very first time was us recording each other singing and dancing to the Ali and AJ CD.
Yes, they're really popular ones.
It took so long, it took so long, it took so long for you to call back. That. And the second time was we set up a camera to record us, and we were in your parents' living room, and we set up like we were horror in her eyes. We did not rehearse this, so this is fresh memories. We set up like a table in your mom's living room like we were news anchors. Do you remember this?
I do.
And
I think I've repressed this memory.
And we had like topics to talk about, and one of the things I remember, because we redid this take like 15 times,
I'm sure,
was during it you dissed either Johnny Depp or Robert Downey Jr. Scripted that like I was gonna go off screen, like you were gonna just casually diss them in conversation, and I was gonna go off screen, and then you're supposed to hear sounds of chaos and destruction in the background before I ran and tackled you off the screen.
Oh no.
Quite comedic.
Oh, I'm sure.
But we tried that take like 10 or 11 times before your mom was like, "What are you doing?" So this YouTube channel will be our 3rd attempt at a best friend YouTube channel. First attempt was at your dad's, so that had to be,
remember
we
that.
were 5th or 6th grade?
Or even 7th, yeah.
7th. And so, yeah.
I think it was 7th because I remember a photo that we took like that night that you made your profile pic for like a long time.
Very first Facebook profile picture.
Yeah, I do recall.
And for some reason there's a mattress in the background.
Yes, so I had like tan colored sheets on my bed, like beige colored sheets on my bed, and we wanted like a professional backdrop. So we took the mattress off my bed, pulled it into the living room, leaned it against the wall, backdrop.
But anyways, we digress. This is our 3rd attempt, only we're actually going to post this one this time. So I guess we should start at the beginning, where we first met.
We first met in 5th grade. In elementary school. We had the same teacher.
Yup.
I don't remember like the first moment that we met. Yeah, but I just remember like it just was one of those things where like we were kids in the same class, so we like eventually hung out together at recess.
We did sit next to each other.
We did.
I do think that was the genesis of us actually talking.
I probably just would not shut up about the guy that I had a crush on. That ended up being my first boyfriend in 5th grade.
It was so cute. Innocent young love.
Yeah, it's probably. I needed to talk to somebody and she was sitting next to me, so I blabbed her ear off and then best friends. And I still blab her ear off 18 years later.
Honestly, we were pretty much inseparable. I'll also say that she is my longest and like friendship, like lasting close friendship, which is impressive. I remember the embarrassment that I felt back then. I'm about to date ourselves, so I am almost 28 and Brie is 28. And at the time, this was like pre-cell phone boom on our 5th grade. And I remember calling her dad's house and like asking, hey, is Brie there? And that was the source of major anxiety for me. But then I got a cell phone, and then Brie,
I got a Migo. We will insert a photo of what those look like here. They had 4 numbers that you could program, and then there was like a password for those numbers. So like I wasn't supposed to be able to change them, but it took me all of approximately 2 days to crack the passcode. And so I used to put my boyfriend's number in there. I used to put Kaer's number in there. That was pretty much it. But my dad eventually caught on and got mad at me, but he didn't change the password. So that's on you, sir.
I did feel special. I cracked the top 4, only 4 numbers she could have in her phone. What was it, like mom, dad, 911, and
no, 911 was in the middle. So 911 was already
so there
a
were
part
5
of the
numbers.
phone. There were, but like the middle was not changeable.
Yes.
But yeah, no, it was like mom's cell, dad's work, and then my aunt and uncle's house, because they lived kind of close and they were always home. So if I like needed anything, I could call them. But yeah. But then I changed it all the time, so.
And the reason the county fair is our official friendiversary is because that's, as far as either of us can tell, is the first time that we officially hung out together. Was the
Which
county
honestly,
fair.
the county fair is in September, so like we didn't know each other very long before we were like besties.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. We're at the same school the grade before, but we were in different classes.
We were, yeah. I feel like when you're in elementary school, you don't really know the people in the other classes that well unless you had them in a different class.
I had just moved to the district in 4th grade, and I remember feeling so warm and fuzzy because I joined our school district in 4th grade, and somebody years later, when we were like juniors in high school, your first boyfriend actually thought that I was in his kindergarten class with him.
Aww.
And like, I don't know, I just felt so validated. Like, I was
You were like an integral part of our school.
Yes, like I am part of this class, and people have, at least falsely, but still have the impression that I've always been here. It made me feel so good, because you know, like when you're a transplant, when you're an elementary transplant, or even worse, a middle school or high school transplant, you don't cultivate that as much. You were in that school district since the very beginning. Yeah. So I'm a poser. Brie's not, but yeah, I remember feeling so warm and fuzzy.
I, in elementary school and occasionally junior high, I think, would ride the bus home to her house. She lived quite a ways out in the woods.
I lived out in the boonies, the sticks.
Yes, so I would ride the bus home with her for the weekend, and we would play a lot of like video games. We would go play outside. There was this little, what was it called?
Flume.
Also known as a waterfall.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the only difference is flumes are man-made. I don't know. We called it the flume. We walked down there, and I remember because the flume flowed under the road, and you could stand on one side of the bridge and throw a rock and then run to the other side and listen, and you could hear it like clanging against the metal pipes, and that was a source of entertainment.
It was, yeah. That should honestly tell you how incredibly bored we would get.
As far as games, one that I remember just lives in my head is a very happy memory for us. It's probably not the one you're thinking.
Oh, it isn't?
Yeah, it might be out of left field for you. We got really into the Lara Croft games.
I do remember that. That's not what I was thinking, but I do remember that. And the funny thing was, I didn't play them almost ever. I watched her play, and I loved it. Like, even when I, like, later on, when I, like, met my husband, I watched him play video games all the time. Like, it's just so fun for me, and she loves gaming, so.
I also like watching video games, but I also like gaming, so she would watch me. But I remember the Lara Croft games.
You know what I was thinking of.
Yes. Want to say it together?
I don't remember the name of it. What was it?
I thought you were talking about The Sims.
No.
What were you thinking of?
The one where I had to jump on the platform and kept missing? You've made fun of me for that for years.
I have that game on my Xbox right now.
What is it?
Ty the Tasmanian Tiger.
Tasmanian Tiger, yes.
Yes.
No, I have like a trauma memory. No, I'm just kidding. But also kind of not kidding. for that one.
The hand-eye coordination was in I think that was Ty the Tasmanian Tiger too. There were the sky platforms that you had to jump on, and you just could not. You just could not do that. That was fun. Yeah, but The Sims was another one we played.
Yes, we did play The Sims together a lot. We don't play it together, but like when she was living in a different town before she moved back home, we would play at the same time. So like she would play on her Xbox and I would play on my computer.
Yes, amazing. And for the record, at the filming of this video, I have just moved back to our hometown. So we are reunited full-time, literally as of like 4 days ago. We're still friends after all this time, other than lack of options. I don't know, we really just clicked. We've had a couple of dry spots. A fight of 7th grade, which in my mind was a lot longer than it was. I think in reality it was like maybe 8 weeks long.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe. To me, it was a big deal.
Which, honestly, the reason that fight even happened is just because I grew up just a little bit faster than you did. And that's not a bad thing. At the time, it was just, like, too much for me.
I will fully admit I was immature as heck. I'm an only child. I had no discipline. And I was very immature. And I think what happened after that fight, like, Brie and I broke up. She broke up with me.
I did.
We walked out of lunch one day, heading to the basketball courts, and she just turns to me and says something along the lines of, I don't think we should be friends anymore.
I worked myself up that whole lunch. I was like, you have to do it. You have to do it.
It was direct. I'll give her that. I remember just feeling so floored, like betrayed. I didn't blindside. Survivor would have been proud. I just didn't know what to do. In the space of, for me, I legitimately thought it was like 6 months. Brie is insisting it was only like 8 weeks. And I believe that because when you're a kid, time is like distorted. But during that time, I made another friend who was 10 times more immature than me. And then I was like, I get it. I get it. I get why this
She
is
called
annoying.
me one day and was like, listen, you're not wrong.
For the record, Brie broke up with me and I patched it.
True.
Yes. I remember being at my great grandma's and asking her, I was like, I want to be friends with Brie again. Do you think I should call and make up? And she was,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And Nano was like, yeah, I think you guys have been really good friends. And I remember being so nervous. I was really nervous because, like, I don't know, I wanted to be friends again, and yeah, I understood why, but I just didn't think that you would forgive me. And so I remember calling, asking, hey, Brie, and then, like, we just kind of started the conversation like nothing had happened, I think. And we were like, hi, how's it going? Good, how are you? And then eventually I was just like, so yeah, I understand why you didn't want to be friends, but I've changed, and I think we should be friends again. And she was like, yeah, okay, let's hang out this weekend. So, like, I was nervous.
Because we were little kids, and that's how little kids were.
Yep, it was great.
Yeah.
I think another big factor of our friendship is not only did we click, but our families clicked with each other. Like, I was welcome at all of Brie's family events to the point where I really felt like part of her family, and vice versa. I have a much smaller family than Brie has. Brie has a ginormous family. But Brie was always welcome to my house. There was one summer where we basically lived with each other, whether I was at her house or she was in my house.
One summer.
Okay, this summer in particular.
It was like that
really,
every
you're right,
summer.
like every summer. But there was one summer where we built a rec room.
We didn't build it. It was
The
building was there.
We renoed it. My
That's
dad
also a strong word for what we did.
cleaned it and
we
painted
painted it. And we decorated it with dollar store decorations.
We were like 13.
I think we were like 14.
14, 15? I don't know. Somewhere in that.
It was like right before I learned how to drive.
Yes. Teen years. But my dad bought a house, and the house came with like a carport that had an attached room to it that was separate from the house. And my dad said that we could do whatever we wanted to it. And in our defense, honestly, like, I'm actually kind of impressed with us because that room was filthy. Like, it was filled with junk, and it was dirty, and it was filthy. And my dad said, you guys can do whatever you want with it, but I'm not I'm not going to help you. I mean, unless you're doing something dangerous, like you need a drill or something. But for the most part, it's your project. I'm not going to help you. And as 13 through 15-year-olds, we got all the junk out of it. We took down all the cobwebs. We cleaned it from head to toe. We decided on a color scheme. Not the best color scheme. I think
She decided on the color scheme.
You agreed, clearly.
It was your house. I wasn't gonna say no.
Well, I had envisioned in my mind
it was a great vision.
Island inspo. And so I wanted like island sunset theme. So we got like oranges and yellows.
We got an orange, and yellow.
A single orange and a single yellow paint. And my vision was that they were gonna blend together. And what actually ended up happening was a hard line.
Because the wall was split into two.
Yes.
Also, we ran out of orange paint for the ceiling. And not in a good spot to run out of paint. So we just used yellow to finish it.
And after our beautiful paint job, of which I wish we had photographic evidence of, we went to the dollar store and bought a bunch of tacky, cheesy island tiki bar decor. Tiki bar decor.
Yeah. There was hula skirts. We used them as like there was like a built-in like it was like a work desk. Workbench. Yeah. And we used like hula skirts to like put a like border along the bench, and yeah, it was a choice. It was a choice
that we made. But
also the dollar store has come a long way since then. If we hadn't had dollar store stuff now, we could have done a lot better.
Probably. Yes. I've seen some very awesome like DIY decor items with dollar store that is way higher quality than what we had at the time. But regardless of our, we'll say, eclectic design choices, we spent so much time in there. We had a futon, a green cushioned futon that we slept in. Yeah. Well, it turned into
No, we also had a couch.
Yeah,
I remember because I would sleep on it and then I would be grossed out because occasionally there were bugs because it was like halfway outside. You know, like it wasn't like outside, but like it was like essentially a garage without a garage door.
Yes. So it was not the best.
There were bugs.
There were some cracks and stuff. The window wouldn't close all the way. But we spent a lot of time in there. We played Rock Band in there. We talked all night. We watched movies. We listened. I remember listening to a Lady Gaga album basically on repeat.
It was either Born This Way or the one right before it, because it did have Paper Gangster on.
I remember Paper Gangster.
I don't remember
was on there.
That's on, but
and Paparazzi.
I think so.
That album had just come out, and we were very into it, and it was on like repeat in our rec room. So we were inseparable. We used to walk down to McDonald's. We got a free
McFlurries multiple times actually, because we would just walk down to McDonald's to get dollars sodas.
Yep.
And then we would sit there because it was air conditioned, and their house didn't have central air. It had like a little window AC in the living room, which was not enough, and our rec room had no air at all.
Nope. I think we had a plug-in fan.
Yeah. So we would walk down to McDonald's and sit inside for hours talking. Because they had air conditioning.
Yes, literally hours. And multiple times people came up to us like, do you want a McFlurry? Or
well, yeah, like, because they would, like, make the wrong ones and they'd know we'd be in there. So they'd just be like, you guys want to split this? And we'd be like, yes, we do.
It was great. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so outside of our childhood, I think that our childhood memories solidified our continuing friendship through adulthood. Because there were a few years... we'll refer to them as the Great Drought, where Bree moved away from our hometown for a little bit, and then I joined the military, and so I have been gone from our hometown. Well, okay, rewind. I left junior year to attend college in a city 2 hours away. So that's really the first step of us seeing each other less. Mm-hmm. We still visit each other a lot during that time. But when I was 16, I moved to an adjacent town to go to college. And then when I was 18, I joined the service and left far, far away. And I joined the service in 2014. Oh, I feel so old. I joined the service in 2014, and I'm just now moving back home in 2023. So that's about a 9-year window of
where we weren't in the same area.
And we only got to see each other once, maybe twice a year, and could only call on the phone once every couple months, and we were both busy with our own lives. But I think what really got us through and what made us survive, because I think a lot of friendships would not have survived one of us like basically leaving, and we don't know if she's ever going to come back. Turns out I did.
She wasn't planning on coming back.
I was not planning on ever coming back.
But here we are.
And I'm happy.
I'm happy.
And but I feel like that teenage angst of just hating your hometown is something that just wears off.
I had that too, but the difference is I have a huge family and they're all here. So whereas your family kind of...
My family is small, and the smallness of it, they've all scattered too. So I only have a family of like 5 or 6 people, and
they're all
none of them are here anymore. So, but yes, I think what really got us through those 9 years of only seeing each other like once a year is our childhood. We were so close in childhood that like if you would have ever asked me if me and Brie wouldn't be friends, or if anything could ever happen to cause us to not be friends, I would be like, no, because we've been friends forever.
Well, I feel like one thing you haven't touched on too is like when we were children, we had so much in common. Like we were both very imaginative. We were both very into fantasy and like movies, and just like we were both like big. We had big imaginations, and I feel like that really like helped us like really connect. But as we got older, we started to have a lot less in common. Like we still had those kind of things, but like we went very different routes in life, and we had a lot less in common. I was incredibly religious, and she was incredibly not / a very different religion than me.
We are both religious.
Yes, but for a while you weren't.
For a while I wasn't, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, but then yes. So I was a very, very, very devout Christian for a long time. And she is pagan. And has been for a long time.
So very pagan.
Yeah.
I officially converted to paganism when I was 16. So yeah, after I left my hometown, when we lived here as like preteens, she already considered herself Christian, but she was really exploring it. And then I would have considered myself agnostic. Then I moved to go to college when I was 16, and then she got further and further, more and more devout in Christianity. And then I converted to paganism, and I've only gotten more and more devout into paganism. So we're both very dedicated to our religions. Yes, I'm still very pagan. I'm very excited. Maybe we can vlog some of the pagan festivals where Brie is willing to accompany me to my pagan festivals. I'm very excited.
I'm very excited to see. Also, our babies are there.
Our babies are there.
Yes, there's a little rock commemorating our babies, and that's their resting place. So it's fun to go visit them.
For those that are wondering if we're being metaphorical, we're not. We are both bereaved mothers and have experienced pregnancy losses. And so during the last Samhain ritual, for those of you that don't know, Samhain is the same day as Halloween. It is the ancient pagan festival or holiday that connects us to our ancestors and our beloved dead. And during the last Samhain ritual, we did this beautiful, beautiful ceremony where we took ancestor stones and painted them to embody the essence of one of our passed away loved ones. And I did my baby on one side. His name is Thomas. And I asked Brie for permission to do her daughter on the other half of the rock so that our children's spirits could play together in the afterlife. So, and that ancestor stone with both of our babies, Thomas and Winnie, are still at the ancestor shrine on our ancient pagan grounds, not ancient pagan grounds, they're quite recent, but sacred pagan grounds.
Also, the ground is ancient.
The ground is ancient, yes.
The trees are ancient,
The trees
too.
are ancient, yes.
Yes,
So,
actually, on my TikTok, I have a video of us going to visit our babies.
Yes. So I really think that like we came together again during the drought. We've never not been friends. I do want to stress that. But we came out of our drought during just really the perfect time. We were both like, I was very emotionally vulnerable, and we had both experienced this bereaved mother experience, and we just like really reconnected with everything, and it's just been beautiful and wonderful ever since. And I'm so excited for where our friendship is going. We're gonna be those angry old ladies. We are.
For real.
Angry bestie old ladies.
Yep.
So we have lots and lots to talk about, and we're gonna subject you to all of it.
Mm-hmm.
And as even just in the intro video, we've covered a wide range of topics from comical to deeply serious.
That's true.
And that's just our life.
That's true. Also, we have so many more funny stories to tell. Like, that wasn't even, none of the stories we told today were even that funny compared to some of the really funny stories we have to tell.
We've got some.
So thank you for watching our very first YouTube video. We're very excited to share all that we have to share with you guys. And if anything that we talked about today sounds like something that you would be interested in, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you get notified when we post new videos. And until next time, bye.
Bye.